The Roman jar, filled with holes, is a strange archaeological discovery that has baffled experts. The jar was found in a storage room of the Museum of Ontario Archaeology, and it was initially broken in 180 different pieces. After the jar was restored meticulously, the various holes present in the jar, along with one at the bottom, had surprised researchers. The function of the jar, and even its origins, have been widely debated over the years. Where did this jar originate from, and what was its purpose? Before we dive into what the function of the jar was, we need to determine where exactly the jar was discovered, and the exact origins of it are unclear. According to archival research, William Francis Grimes, an archaeologist from Wales, was the one to provide the jar to the museum in the 1950s. Therefore, the excavation site is assumed to be a World War II bomb crater located in London. However, some researchers, such as Katie Urban, has expressed uncertainty to it being from that London site. This is because the jar is not included in the list of artifacts given to the museum by Grimes. However, this can be explained due to the jar being in 180 different pieces and the list not being very detailed. One of the biggest reasons surrounding the uncertainty of the jar's origins is that the storage room also held artifacts provided by another archaeologist named Charles Leonard Wooley from the excavations he had carried out in Ur, the ancient Mesopotamian city. He had sent some of his artifacts to the British Museum of London, which had gifted some of his findings to the Museum of Ontario Archaeology. If this was the case, the jar could have been made in 3000 BC rather than the assumed 2nd or 3rd century AD. However, the chances of this are unlikely, and the jar is widely assumed to be Roman. So what exactly is the purpose of a jar that is riddled with holes? One of the theories was that the jar was used as a lamp. However, Katie Urban suggested that although the tiny holes would allow light to pass through, it is unlikely to be a lamp due to the hole being at the bottom of the jar. Another common theory was that it was a glirarium, a container used for storing edible dormice, as they were a popular snacks for the Romans. There have been other jars found with similar holes for this purpose, such as this one. However, one of the problems with this theory was that the jars for rodents were equipped with rams that the mice could use to run along with food holders, which were not present in the Roman holy jar. Since we are talking about it being an animal container, there's also a theory that the Romans had kept snakes inside the jars, as they are a widely known religious symbol in the ancient world. What do you think the purpose of this jar was? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below.